Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, to this week's installment of Ask the Dads. And in celebration of the birthday boy, I have just got to say, finally, the dads have come back to Monday.
That's right. Thank you
Since
for that. That was awesome.
somebody
I
was
dig that.
sick with no voice last week, so we had to cancel.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I'm glad I'm back. We actually had a pretty good weekend for the most part. I'm not gonna lie. It was a good weekend. We got to do a pretty cool little outing on Saturday. Got a lot to talk about today. Let's not even front. So we'll go ahead and get into it here momentarily. But put the banner back up here because apparently not only can Jeff not count properly, but YouTube doesn't make their intentions very well known. So please, if you want to jump in ahead of the line as far as what we're talking about on today's show, for the love of God, folks, let us know with a super chat, and we will gladly stop what we're doing and address what you want us to address, because Lord knows we like talking to you guys too. So anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got a few predetermined topics that I went to Jeff off air, mentioned, was like, hey, I'd kind of like to cover this, and this today. Is there anything else you can think of we need to discuss? He was like, no, not really. So we're going to discuss those couple of topics. But as he said, a super chat will interrupt us, will divert our current path to discuss and talk about whatever it is that you are super chatting about.
Exactly.
I mean, you guys have been so generous this past month.
Oh my
both
God.
Here on the Jeff Meacham Network and over on the Greg Cherry brand side of things.
Yes.
We appreciate all of you guys, and we hope that you guys will keep that support coming through, because we want to keep bringing you this content.
Exactly.
As much as it pains some of the other affiliates of this network, we will continue to do these watch-alongs if we can get $100 in super chats every month.
That's right.
For the non-big ones. Obviously, we're still going to do the Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, AEW Double or Nothing, but like the smaller scale pay-per-views, we will do for you guys if you continue to donate and show your love and support. But if you don't show your love and support, we're not going to give back to you. Think of it as a Patreon tier. We don't have Patreon, but think
No.
of it as a Patreon tier. If we can get to $100, and it doesn't even have to be one person donating, unlike a Patreon tier to earn a perk. If we can get to that $100 tier so that this man over here can get a payout on a regular basis, we will provide you with that extra content.
Yeah, actually, my dad asked me the other week. It's like, why don't you set up like a Patreon or a paywall tier? It's like, because that doesn't work. Because I've been doing this so long, nobody wants to actually pony up for a full subscription. It's like, okay, you guys don't have to do that. If everybody kicked in $1 that watches these shows over the course of a week, it wouldn't be an issue. So
exactly, that's all it takes. And I know that YouTube won't let you just super chat $1, but if
right,
I think the minimum is a $2 super chat. If 50
right.
people super chatted $2 over the course of a month, we've got the content.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
And again,
really that simple.
I know we're sounding like a freaking telethon and not an actual wrestling program or whatever. But
Yeah.
this
And
is
we're
how
going to get
serious
into
it's
that
getting
here
up
in
in
a
this
minute.
bitch. So it's
Hey,
it's
you
just
know
like,
what?
oh
We're
my
getting
god.
close to Memorial Day, damn it.
Yeah, it's
Telethon.
getting to the point where I as of now I'm not going to get paid until June 21st. So that
Unfortunately,
sucks,
because of the way YouTube do what it do.
right? And we're not supposed to say that on the air, but that's what's happening. So
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, Jeff, let's get
Anyway.
down to business. I'm going to crack open my Zoa energy drink here, even
In
though we
honor
are
of the Lord.
totally not being paid to shill this by Dwayne, because why
Now,
would he?
Now, keep in mind, he has not tried this.
Yes,
He
I have
tried
never had a Zoa. I
yeah,
literally just cracked this can, and I'm
yeah,
going to
yeah.
taste this for the first time.
Hang on, before you do that, keep in mind, his first ever shot of tequila was the rocks, and he regrets it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Oh my
Oh, that's
goodness.
some good shit, pal.
Okay, there you go. Okay, good. I'm glad.
All
I'm
right,
glad.
so that's
Good.
going to become a regular thing of mine. I don't do energy drinks on a whole. I just can't deal with all the caffeine and the sugar anymore at my
Right?
age.
Yeah,
But when
it's
I
rough.
need a pick me up, Zoa is going to be my go to if I can't find my Monster Kona blend.
Which it's so funny. I have found it more out where y'all are now than I ever have. Like out in the boony towns, like freaking Victorville, and out where Travis lives, out in Yano, like you can find that shit by that case in some of these liquor stores, along the side of the road. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, see, and I've been up here for a month and haven't found it yet. But the Walmart I used to work at down the hill had it in stock.
Bro.
All right,
Well,
so
anyway.
first thing, let's talk about our weekend before we jump into the meat and potatoes here of the show. We actually got to hook up this weekend. My girlfriend and I were able to link up with Mr. Meacham here. We went to a thing called Horrorville, Horror, Horrorville. I know when you kind of say it fast like that, it sounds like Horrorville, but Horror.
We didn't go to Vegas yet.
No, that was 11 years ago.
Almost.
So we went to this thing called
Mikey.
Horrorville, and it was a little pop-up event at a Halloween Depot store. Lots of different spooky type of vendors.
Very cool.
And the headline, the coup de grace, the reason for the season, if you will, Danielle Harris from Halloween 4 and 5, Rob Zombie's Halloween movies, as well as Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, Free Willy, Urban Legend, The Wild Thornberries, etc., etc., etc. See No Evil 2 with Kane. God damn it, got to make it wrestling related.
That's right.
She was there signing autographs and taking pictures. Jeff was able to get his 8x10 signed that he had gotten
working on it
at CreepyCon the last time he saw her.
Yes. Yeah.
Was able to get that
I had
signed
not
by
seen
her.
Yeah, I've not seen Danielle in person prior to this year. I've now seen her twice, and there's recognition now, which it could be Great for me and probably a little scary for her. Not gonna lie. Saying, oh God, it's him.
Hey, when it gets to be Arquette level recognition, then we can talk.
Yeah, yeah. Then
But
I'd be scared. Put it that
we
way.
got to see her again. Got to get her to sign his 8x10 from the last time they met. Picture of the two of them together.
She's
Got
great.
to get another picture with her. My girlfriend and I got to take a picture with her. Sweet as a button, short as all get out.
Yes, which
You
we've talked
know,
about in the past. So
but it was real cool getting to meet her. We got to see some of our old um, Disney buddies, if you
yeah,
will.
yeah. Exactly. I'm UNC posted you guys' picture on your social, right?
Uh, I know I posted it to my story on Instagram.
Oh
If you need me to send it to you real quick, I can.
no, I think CC did actually, so we're good. It's okay. I find it's okay. Keep going.
But
Oh, I thought you did. I guess not.
it's
Well,
coming
poopy. Okay,
and it's going through.
there we go. All right. Just want to make sure I had it all.
So that was cool. I mean, there, like I said, there was a bunch of cool vendors. We saw an old wrestling promoter that we hadn't seen in years.
Yeah, that was crazy running into. Where's that picture with Vic? There it is, right there. Yeah. So for those of you from my ancient past, and I mean this is way back with this guy, and I want to look, I'm ready to cut a air fart or a friggin' raspberry fart there, but I am apparently. Screen caps are a bitch. They really are. They're terrible. Anyway, yeah, Vic Luna was there with his wife. They're actually now they were one of the vendors there. They actually do wrestling and horror themed pins and stickers and air fresheners.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool to see them.
I
Very
actually
cool.
bought a couple of pins from them. I can show here real quick if you take it down.
Yeah.
Their company is called the Pindies instead of the
Yes, thank you.
Indies.
Go
So
ahead
I've
and
got this Chucky with Woody and Buzz. All three toys owned by an Andy.
Ah, that's tremendous. I didn't even see that one. I bought that one myself. I had the money. That's great.
And then I got this one of Chucky and Tiffany together.
That's cute.
Bouquet of roses in one hand and a knife in the other.
Sounds like Charles and Tiffany.
I was gonna say nothing says Chucky and Tiffany like a bouquet of roses and a knife.
And not sure in that order.
Yeah.
So good stuff. All right. So where were we at?
There's
So
another guy across the way from Vic who had a bunch of wrestling pins.
Yeah.
If we hadn't already dropped near $200 at the event between the meet and greet with Danielle and the other swag that we walked away with, he had a pin probably about this big when you factored in the card it was on of the curtain call from Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, the four guys with their
All
arms
four
up.
of them in the ring with their arms up. And it was just like one of the coolest things I had ever seen in my life.
He had an RVD pin that the freaking arms were. It's like, oh my God, I have to buy this now just because it's a thing. It exists, so I must have it because it's Robin. It's funnier now. Oh
Pins of DiBiase with the $1 million belt, which I know how much of an advocate you are of Ted for being recognized as the champ. Ted has always been good to us when we've encountered him, so I know how bad you'd like to get that pin.
Both Teds have been very good to us, actually. Both DiBiases have been awesome. So we love us the Ted. So yeah, you were mentioning earlier what we were doing. I was trying to get the pictures uploaded as you were talking, but you talked faster than I could even move, which is something to behold. But let's see, where are we at? So you mentioned our Disney buddy, Danielle, who has been with Disneyland since new business. But she's our favorite CM by far. She is I think she's actually the last man standing at this point. So what's up?
I said now that Stat Boy and your sister are no longer employees, Danielle kind of moved up to the top of the list.
I'm gonna say she's pretty much last man standing. So, however, she's with the VIP tour, so she don't get to hobnob with us normals no more. So
that's right.
Gotta give her a little more shit on. I'm doing it on the air just because I can, because I have a platform and she doesn't. So I'm gonna be more of a dick.
And of course, me doing the show, rocking my merch out there.
Yeah. Once again, Jay shows up ready for work, even though we're on a work day. I'm there in my freaking, newsboy cap and the Halloween shirt, being a mark for Danielle. So, clearly somebody's priorities are in better shape than mine. But yes, you can buy that shirt over at merch.jeffmeachamnetwork.com. Anyway, we'll get there momentarily. Let's see. I forget where order the pictures are in here. Let me just look. Oh, okay. So we also ran into our friends over at Dark Crown Films. Of course, they did the little it wasn't little, it was a major undertaking by them, honestly. You Can't Kill the Boogeyman, which is on their YouTube right now. You can check it out for free. It's a 30-minute short. It was what it was designed for, but you'll notice he has in his hand there the H4 Michael Myers mask. They are working on a sequel to Halloween 4 called H4 Damnation.
Interesting.
So if, like a lot of us, H5 is not your cup of tea, and Laura knows that freaking is not even my shot at Brandy. Let's not kid ourselves. This will be something to check out from what I'm being told. So be on the lookout for that coming up probably late this year, early next year.
If they do anywhere near half as good as Braden did with the Haddonfield Nightmare to correcting timelines, then it should be amazing.
I talked to Braden over the weekend as I was going to get to, but we'll go ahead and jump. We'll jump the line. That's cool. No worries. Did I actually put that in here? I didn't even put that in there yet, so I wasn't even ready for that. So I take back what I just said. Anyway, so yeah, if Braden got me the Blu-ray copy with the H2O variant in the mail over the weekend, so I handed off your copy. That movie is so well done. And I told Braden over the weekend, I'm like, man, he's like, I really am glad you love this much. Like, you don't understand. H2O was my gateway to the films. And seeing even Jamie being willing to do Resurrection hurts enough. But the fact that they actually filmed that abominable piece of shit and put it out there for the world to have to ingest forcibly with freaking castor oil on it, cake on it. It was terrible. So you are doing what we've wanted the studio to do for 24 years now. Continue John's story. We all know that Lori was going to end up freaking batshit crazy, no matter if it was 20 years, 40 years, 100 years. She was going to end up in some sort of spastic frame of mind, because that shit messes with you when you go through something like that. And if you have children, you're going to imprint that on them. And John was screwed up in 98. So if you see this new movie, and please watch this movie, support these guys. They're making a movie called Sally right now, which is supposed to be so freaking good. And he did tell me, flat out in a quote, wait till you see Haddonfield Nightmare 2. You are going to enjoy it so much. And I was like, dude, the fact that you just told me that's a thing, my heart's going dun 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 dun. So
we need to seriously try to make it a thing where we get a bit part in part 2 for as much promotion as you've done for him in the first one. If we can be in that film and get gutted by Michael, like, that would be awesome.
The problem with Braden's setup is that they're actually out in Illinois.
Yeah.
So, but Dark Crown, like I said, Dark Crown is doing the sequel to H4, which people tend to hate on H4. I actually like H4 as well. I know it's the start of a very problematic trilogy. I'm not even going to pretend that's not the case, but H4 is definitely the still thriving head of what is a very ugly body of work between the three movies. But yeah, Haddonfield Nightmare from, let me just read this right, Bat Productions, Braden Timmons, of course, and You Can't Kill the Boogeyman from Dark Crown Films are both on YouTube. On this YouTube's for free. I just have a copy because, as JJ and I have both told you all many times, we are hard copy, aficionados. So gotta have that. But yes, I have a little setup over here, which I'll get to momentarily regarding the Halloween stuff. But yeah, we ran into them. We ran into Vic. I got a chance to have the owner of the depot, Tony, on the air right before I signed off. And as I was talking with Tony, he led me back to this. I was going behind the red door. I'm like, what am I walking into? Red doors usually don't mean something I can show on the air here, Tony. What am I doing? Turns out it was a freaking, they called it the toy room. And I'll see if I can get it good. So he found out we were a wrestling channel, so he actually wanted to point me out there. This is like an entire display of figures that like kind of goes about 3-4 of these things wide. And the one I'm pointing to there is IRS. I had never seen an IRS figure from Hasbro up close ever in my life.
Nice.
So that was kind of cool. I also pointed out a Warlord figure and told the Cowboy Bob Orton story, because every time I see the Warlord, I have to tell the Cowboy Bob Orton story with Aaron's dad. So then he took me even back further. JJ, you'll appreciate it. I don't know if he actually went into the toy room or not, but That is
Nice.
an original carnival style Chucky doll from back then.
Nice.
Like, I saw that and I'm like, how much is our mortgage on the house? How much would the boy get for slavery? I mean, I'll buy it next time. So yeah, that was pretty freaking cool to see that up close. As big a fan of Chucky as I've been, I also know you are a major Chucky fan. So Scott, it's good to see you, my friend. Welcome to the chat room. Much appreciate that you're watching us during this crazy hour of whatever, or probably longer today because we're talking about this way too much. But that's okay. And then of course we got to meet Danielle and as JJ. And by the way, I have to thank Jay and his girl because I was fully prepared to just go ahead and get my selfie and not worry about signatures, autographs, and anything or whatever. Again, so generously ponied up for a combo deal, which got them this picture and then got my picture with Danielle. I don't know why am I showing a picture of a picture? I'm spastic. Don't mind me.
I don't know why you're doing that either.
I don't know why I'm doing it either. But anyway, there's the signed picture. And again, this is from CreepyCon. So this is on my display over here on top of my refrigerator. I have my office. The picture of Scout is sitting here lonely with no writing on it yet. We're working on that one.
Yeah.
But, actually, I have a picture with Christina as well, Linda, from that series. I just don't have it as it wasn't professional shots. I have to actually get it printed and do the whole, HD edit thing because it's a selfie. And even on my phone, it's still a selfie. So,
yeah.
And then, because I paid for the selfie, she went ahead and let me take a picture anyway. And I edited it a little bit because I wasn't a fan of the whole background because, I mean, it's a warehouse and, it's a warehouse and it just kind of looks silly. So I put Michael's head from H4 back there behind us just for purposes. And I have been told that I'm allowed to say this at some point, either toward Halloween, maybe even sooner, Danielle will be on the show.
Yes.
Don't know when.
Well done, sir.
She's busy. I'm busy. We got shits to do. She's got kids. I've got a kid. So we are working on it. But
well done, sir.
Agreed in principle. We'll put it that way.
There you go.
Mike Gonzalez is here. Stopping by real quick to say, great review of the Scorpion King, JJ. Have a good rest of your day. Yes, I got to say, it didn't quite lead us in because it was a shorter review, but at the top of the previous hour at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific, this guy is back. Renegade's Reviews is here. And Scorpion King, again, if you've never seen the Scorpion King, it's been 22 years. So first of all, get on that shit right now. As soon as we're done, don't worry about Raw. Watch Raw later. Go watch Scorpion King because damn it, you need to watch Scorpion King. But again, great review. Welcome back officially to the Renegade Jews. We know you did a Disneyland style soft open last week, but you are back in the saddle again, my friend. So welcome back.
Yes, thank you. Every Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Let's make sure we stress that one first, Jeff, because God damn it, we live in California.
You know what?
We don't live on the East Coast.
I understand
I get that a good chunk of your fan base is East Coast or even overseas, and we don't want to alienate them.
No.
But we are West Coast. So every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, you can catch my Renegades reviews. And this month, all month, it's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movies as we celebrate his 50th birthday, which is today. Once again, salute to you, Dwayne.
Yes.
There's so much Dwayne content this month between my channel and this channel that it's going to be nuts. Come June 1st, Jeff's going to be like, okay, can we just not talk about him for like a week and a half? Can we make that a thing?
Right. But yeah, I mean, there you go. So this week alone, we've got The Rundown and Walking Tall, which were actually the first two Rock movies that I saw. And I just love these movies. They are both so much fun. Yes, they are action movies, and they do have a lot of the, Rock's the big bad, action star, but they're funnier than shit, especially the one with Sean William Scott, The Rundown. That's so good. So can't recommend that one enough. Walking Tall, I enjoyed a lot. His co-star is great, and I even like Johnny Knoxville in it. So there you go. And then next Monday, 1 week from today, it's the return of DADS. But okay, get ready. Ready? You guys ready for it? Dads is officially live from this point forward. Well, we're gonna give it a test run in May. How about that? We're gonna give it a test run, but we're gonna talk about Dwayne Johnson's greatest movies 1 week from tonight, and we're going a little earlier. We're going at 6:30 because we get
We want
long-winded
to
on
try to
Dads.
be off the air in time for Raw.
Yeah, we do get long-winded on Dads, especially when we're talking about wrestling, especially when we're talking about people that we love in wrestling, like The Rock. So we want get a little half-hour cushion. That way, if we're not done right at 5/8, it'll be okay. But we'll try to hit as close as we can. The next show we do on Dads with The Rock, we're probably going to go over the 5:00 Pacific, but that's okay. As we're going to do The Rock's greatest matches. So, and by the way, that's on Owen Hart's anniversary of his passing. So that's going to be a somber one, even though it is The Rock. So bear that in mind as you mark your calendars down. Oh, there we go. $2 super chat from Scott. Here's for Dad's Live. Sounds awesome. Woo woo. And what's awesome, I told you off the air, so I'll go ahead and just I'm always, very transparent with y'all. Again, I don't know exactly how much they take because they suck, but I was exactly $1.99 short of the $100 for the April payout. So, Scott, if I do get to keep the whole $1.99, you have saved my finances at least for June. So thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. There you go. And Matt, as always, we are doing, as DDP would always say, if I was doing any better, there had to be two of me. Luckily, there's two of us, so it's okay. And of course, Cece is watching from her abode in another part of Southern California. So there you go. And
yes, she just joined the room. She just missed us talking about the weekend.
Of course she did. That sucks. So.
You know what? That's just the way the 605 freeway traffic is.
So YouTube takes 30%. My friend does YouTube. Oh, wow. Okay, well, now I know.
And knowing the
Scott, you didn't have to, but I appreciate it. Jeez, okay. I am gonna okay. We need to not have people get too crazy on me because I'm gonna end up blushing like I was at Mania, blushing and crying like an idiot. Okay,
right. All right. So here we are, almost a half hour, and let's get to our first topic today, Jeff.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, topics. We have topics. We have stuff to talk about.
I'm wearing a jersey here. I believe this is the first thing we're going to be talking about. That's right. The Stanley Cup playoffs. Game 1 for the Kings and the Oilers is tonight.
Yes.
Which the Kings also tie into The Rock because in the Tooth Fairy, the end of the movie, Derek Thompson, Rock's character, ends up playing left wing for the Los Angeles Kings, wearing number 40.
Right.
So there we go. Now we just tied that into this topic. So
yes.
Mikey Statboy issued a challenge to me to try to beat his bracket. Now, I didn't come up with a whole big bracket or whatever.
Right.
But Mikey, if you're listening, if you're watching this back, I'm going to tell you just like this. Mm-hmm. For the first round, I've got Calgary, LA, Nashville, St. Louis, Washington, Tampa Bay, Carolina, and Pittsburgh. And we will see how I go from there. Some of those are sentimental picks. Obviously, I've got family in St. Louis, so going for the Blues over the Wild. I was going to say something,
but go ahead.
I've got family in Tennessee, so going for the Predators. Obviously, I'm sitting here rocking my Kings jersey. Since it was a Ducks fan who wore Wild gear to a Predators game, challenging me.
No,
my dad is close enough.
It gets worse than that. It gets worse than that. I'm gonna ball him out. Hell with it. I don't even care. So not only did we had the chat about him picking the Minnesota against the Kings, which totally betrays my ass. So whatever. Who is Minnesota playing in the first round? He went against the Pop hometown. Oh, no, he did not.
Tampa Bay is my dad's team now, so
right, but even
for the
still,
Bolts over the Maple Leafs. Going for the Penguins for Greg Cherry. But
your
yeah, he
family
picked the
is
Wild
ace
over
in.
my dad.
He picked against me and against you and Pop. May fortune favor the foolish. That's all I got to say, Mikey. You done did it.
May the force be with you.
That's right. We got 2 days. You better start praying to the gods or the freaking midichlorians up in this bitch. You in trouble.
But I mean, man, just the
Anyway.
fact that the Kings are
back in. I'm
in the
so
playoffs.
happy. Oh my god, dude.
4 Browns last season.
Right. Oh.
Whereas the Ducks couldn't get there for Getsy.
Yeah, I was talking about that with that vendor at the thing. I feel bad for Ryan on that front. I do. I really do.
I do too. But you know what? At the end of the day, Mr. Ducks fan trash talker, your team didn't even make it. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
And you're only supporting the Wild because of your roommate.
And you know what? Whatever. It's again.
And that's just because he don't want to come home and get cussed out.
That's right.
So
you don't want to. Yeah.
For lack of a better term, I know they're not in a relationship. I know they're not married, but for lack of a better phrase, happy life, happy wife.
Yeah.
That's all that boils down to.
Yeah. But as far as the rest of your picks, you got to go with Calgary. Calgary's been so impressive all year. Same with Colorado. Did you pick Colorado or Nashville?
I picked Nashville.
Okay. See, the thing, I get the sentimentality because of you having family there now. Colorado locked up the West. I think they got the President's Trophy, which again isn't always indicative of playoff success. We've seen that over the years, but
yeah, exactly. A lot of quote unquote experts are either picking Calgary, Colorado, or Florida to take the cup.
And honestly,
I only picked Calgary to move on.
Yeah.
So
it's just one of those things, Jay. It's
but
they've got a lot of good stuff.
But you know what, Jeff? Those same experts bet against the Kings in 2012, and how did that go for them?
Oh, exactly. The Kings aren't starting near as low as they did 10 years ago, but they're not exactly the best in the world. Yet.
Right.
So,
but if they could recapture the cup 10 years after doing it the first time,
yep,
gotta love it.
Exactly. Ruh-roh. I'm gonna leave that right there.
Wait a minute. So, Pop, you're going for the Wild over your Bolts?
No. Wow. Listen. No. Same Mikey as far as it's the same Mikey, new bandwagon.
Same shit, different day. Same Mikey,
new
bandwagon. Got it.
Say.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, seriously. If Jerry picks the Wild, I'm doing the dad's walk off right here. I'm a gratuitous walk off right now off this.
I'm pulling a Noah, dude. I'm throwing my headset down, turning the light off, and walking out.
Seriously, glasses will be off, Noah style. Good grief! If Jerry picks against the Blues, I might have a stroke right here and die right here on set. Right here is what happens. All right, so that's the playoffs, but they start tonight. Of course, it's during the East Coast feed of Raw. They can't wait till freaking 8:00. Bastards, stupid Kings.
Other than my dad, who I see is in the chat room, who I know is going for the Bolts, who is a hockey fan as well. Do anybody else in the chat room here care about the Stanley Cup playoffs?
Yeah, who
do you got going all the way? Who do you got going to the finals? Let me know.
Another 2 from Scott with a super sticker. Now, unfortunately, I can't display the super sticker here in StreamYard, but I will be more than happy to go look and see what you done did. Give me a moment here. There it is. Okay, turn that down.
Yeah, I don't know what super stickers are. That's new to me.
Okay, so I don't know if you can give myself a proper. Hang on, let me give myself. How do I do this? I do this. Okay, so I'm gonna try here. So bear with me. So super. Oh God, it's so freaking digitized because of the green screen. Okay, well, yeah, you can't see it screwed in there.
Add a girl.
There you go. That's right. See, she gets it. And yes, Scott's a New York Rangers fan, which he and I have talked a lot over the years about the Rangers and the Kings, and apologies to 2014 multiple times. Just oof.
Unfortunately, the Rangers aren't in the playoffs this year, Scott. So who have you got this year?
Yeah, but CC very much understands what at least at one point my ex understood. If you're gonna live in a household with people, you adapt or you perish. We Kings fans. So you get, and I'm not
But
saying it's going
as
to be
you have
ugly or
heard
whatever,
out of
but
her mouth, she goes back to the Gretzky days. So she is a
exactly.
Kings
See,
fan
like I said,
prior to me.
so she grew up out here. She knows how it goes down, and she's fortunate to have been alive and been around. When Gretzky came here and saw the evolution of the game, because hockey wasn't shit out here. Yes, we had the Triple Crown line, we had the All Star game, we had a lot of solid players, some of the best ever. But hockey was kind of like, oh, that's right, that's where the Lakers play, right? Like, so,
You
and now
just
it's like,
couldn't get that element to make it chili.
yeah,
You had the meat, you had the beans, you had this, you had that. You just didn't have the flavor.
right. Gretzky coming here brought the Hollywood flavor. Put it this way, I have met
So
some
much so that
amazing.
he hosted Saturday Night Live.
There you go. I let me put it to you like this with the Kings and being at the Forum back in the day. It became such a popular place to be that I met people from television. I met people from other sports that would come watch on their off days or whatever. I met President and Mrs. Reagan at a Kings game. Okay. That's how popular hockey was out here.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, to run into the president, well, he was former by then, well former by then, because he was 2 terms after that by then. But to run into a president of the United States in the freaking corridors in the bowels of the building, like I'm talking like where Mankind Undertaker fought, boiler room style, just kind of walking through that whole place, like, oh, So that was, yeah, hockey was big back then. And hockey has been such a part of my life. Y'all know this. Y'all have been listening to me for 20 years talking about the Kings. So I am hopeful that the magic of having him back on the air during this playoff run, doing his show back on my channel, doing the thing here, will have the same magic as it was when he first started going to the Kings games, which was 2011, 2012.
Yep.
So there you go. A little bit of that rub there off of JJ. All right. With that being said, tonight is when the playoffs start. Tonight, of course, is Monday night. It's Monday night. You know what that means? It's Monday Night Raw. As of right now, AEW Dark Elevation's on. Yeah, that's the one. But tomorrow is a big night for NXT. They are having their spring break-in. And you sent me 5 pictures, but I already had this drawn up because there's actually one. They've announced it on WWE.com, but I haven't really seen it kind of elsewhere. And that's the Tony, what the hell's Tony's last name?
Tony D'Angelo. Yeah, the thing was announced as a sit down, not a match. That's why I didn't send you a graphic for it.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay,
because I figured we could pop each image up and talk about each match.
Well, then I will go ahead and take that down, and we can go ahead and do a what do you call it? Do it next to us here. But anyway, I'll leave it up for now so you can actually talk about it because, like I said, you're watching NXT more than I am these days. So
yeah, I've actually been catching it every week, and I am really looking forward to this special. I'm kind of bummed that it's probably just going to be your standard. What does NXT get on USA? 2 hour show. So on Hulu, it's an hour.
Right.
I'm a little bit disappointed that it's only going to be that, and it's not going to be at least like streaming on the network. A little bit grander scale. But this show and everything going down within it really looks good.
Yeah, they tend to do really well with the specials. I very much liken it to the Impact Plus stuff, as far as like you're not going to get a 3-hour mega event, but the quality of the presentation, as far as the match quality in theory, and as far as the storyline development, is definitely on point.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, out of all the stuff that I've been watching WWE wise, now granted, I'm not going to take anything away from Raw or SmackDown because since I've come back into things, those shows have been firing on all cylinders and I have not been bored Granted, I'm watching Hulu versions that are condensed to an hour and a
Right.
half, but I've
Yeah.
not been bored once by a main broadcast show. However, I'm
Is
enjoying
definitely good.
NXT more than anything.
Right. Yeah.
I'm really digging
NXT
NXT.
was always. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just said I'm really digging NXT and what they're bringing to the table. These matches are
Yeah.
going to be fire,
NXT.
and I could see any of these matches, on a PLE.
Yeah, and that's what's been. I was saying, before they rebranded this 2.0, NXT was for a long time the only brand within the company I would make sure I was home to, or made sure I was home to see, because I enjoyed that so much. And this match in particular, I mean, it's one of those. There's nothing really on the line other than the fact that this Grayson Waller guy has been really kind of running with the big boys on the main roster here the last little while. Now he's facing, I forget his opponent's name, so forgive me. I'm
Nathan
sorry.
Frazier.
Jason Frazier, who has been touted as another major superstar to be on the NXT brand. So, I mean, if this is the quote unquote match that really doesn't mean anything, this show is in good shape.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thoroughly impressed by everything I've seen of Grayson Waller. I haven't seen too much of Nathan Frazier on the shows,
Right.
but everything I've seen of Grayson Waller, I'm really impressed. I see a big future for him as long as, WWE doesn't release him, which we'll get to that
Oh
next
boy.
after we roll through these. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, if I
Terrible.
had to pick in this match, if we were doing this for our official picks, I would go with Grayson Waller. There's just a lot about
Yeah,
that
I
kid that I
mean,
really like. Nathan
yeah,
Frazier might end up getting the win just because he's like the newer gimmick, the newer character.
right.
So they may give him the rub over the more experienced guy, but I'm going with Grayson if gun was to my head.
There you go.
Experience is going to outmaneuver the youth.
Now, this one I disagree with that, because the Vikings, while if you were an indie fan, and again, JJ unfortunately was not a fan when War Machine was really cooking with gas out in Ring of Honor and the Indies and whatnot, so you get a chance to see them, do their thing. But they have been so, I don't want to say neutered or watered down, because they clearly have an enhanced presentation, obviously, but it's and it's not even really homogenized like I would normally use that. I would normally use that phrase, but it's not even really that. It's silly. It's hokey, is what it is. So I am not a fan of this Viking Raiders thing. Now, again, you know what? If WWE is paying me, it's like, how many Viking horns and silly stuff do you want me to wear, Mr. McMahon, sir? I mean, really. But these other guys, it's the Creevy brothers. This is or
It's the Creeds.
the Creeds. Thank you. I want to say Creevy. I don't
Which,
know.
time out real
Anyway,
quick before you go more in depth. We got another
yes,
super chat from
I see
Scott
that.
for $2.
And yeah, Scott's in your camp, my friend. Just saying, giggity darling, and yeah,
GG Dolan and Nikita Lyons are beautiful. Yeah. Let me just really quickly, before we get into the Nikita match, which is going to be coming up, Nikita Lyons is so gorgeous. Hulu don't be putting her segments onto the show.
no.
She has been around now for like 2.5 months. I have seen a total of 2 Nikita Lyons matches, and
Oh
she's
my
on TV
goodness.
every week. But continue with what you're saying about the Creeds and the Viking Raiders.
I just like this. I like these Creed guys. They're
Oh,
so just like I don't know how to properly say it. They impress the shit out of me. They really do. And
mm.
you
I
talk
know
about seeing a future
exactly
for Grayson
what to say
Walker, which
about
I
them.
definitely see that being a thing, without a doubt. I honestly see a big future for the Creeds as well, and I think that anything but a solid, I dare I say dominant win from these guys, because the Vikings, while they are who they are and they've been pretty much a joke on the WWE roster, which is so unfortunate.
Yeah,
Um,
I know exactly what to say about the Creeds.
okay.
if Kurt Angle were still around, they'd be the new Team Angle.
Right?
That is
Absolutely.
exactly how to describe the Creeds. They are the modern day Haas and Benjamin.
Yeah,
The
they really are.
problem with the
And
Creeds is that
mm,
they are in the midst of getting screwed at every turn. Stand
yeah.
and Deliver. They lost the title. They put them on to the other team, MSK, whatever it was, and then the one
And then they,
guy had legal
yeah,
issues, and we'll leave it
yep,
at that.
yeah,
And then they forfeit the titles because of that. They do the Creeds versus, or they do the tag
the gauntlet.
team gauntlet, and the Creeds plow through everybody until Pretty Deadly comes in, picks up the win, 1, 2, 3, and they're gone.
Yeah, just
The
so stupid.
Creeds are just getting turned at every turn. And now with, again, we'll get more in depth into this in a minute, but now with Malcolm Bivens having been one of the guys released and him being the leader of the
Yeah,
Diamond Mine, which they are members of, along with Roderick Strong,
yep,
I unfortunately see another loss for them. This really could go either way. Either they're going to get another loss because
right,
of everything going on, and the Vikings, who have been made jokes of, are finally going to get that serious win, or it's
maybe.
going to be a we never needed Malcolm anyways.
Well, you have to remember.
And I'm hoping for the latter over the former, but I
Oh
wouldn't be
yeah,
surprised if the Vikings pick up the victory here with the
yeah.
way the Creeds have been getting done.
It's one of those. Malcolm is off TV. We'll talk more about that in a little while. Um, Roddy's over in the UK doing things over there on their brand. So Ivy and the Creeds are kind of like on their own now. So I'm very curious how it's going to lay out here tomorrow night. So
Yeah, me too.
and I will be watching because I'm going to go live with Talk Wrestling right after that. As far as the East Coast kids are concerned,
Yes.
of course Aaron's doing predictions,
You'll,
but whatever.
you'll probably be my spoiler alert as far as what happens because, I won't watch Spring Break until the following day, but I have to tune into Jeff Meacham live to give him those views.
I will
If
try
not,
very
then I get
hard to
fired.
keep it. I will try very hard to keep it spoiler friendly for your sake, my friend. I promise.
No, it's okay. Do what you got to do. God draw money. God draw money.
Come back next week. That's right. So, and speaking of drawing money, although they don't show her on Hulu, much to your chagrin.
See, this one, man, this one I have the most
Right?
problem with because
That's your
everybody
girls.
knows how much I love Natty. Everybody knows I've been supporting Natty Neidhart since her debut.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you want to give me a solo shot here because you're probably going to be dumbfounded, and then once I say what I got to say and you come back to this shot, then you can show with your jaw dropped. There has never been a time in her career when I've wanted Natty to lose more than I've wanted her to lose lately. Between the match at WrestleMania, I didn't want her to win. Remember, and I'm picking her to lose this one because Cora Jade needs this. Nikita Lyons needs this. Natty doesn't need this. Now, some could argue that maybe Lash needs this, but aside from this little back and forth with Nikita that I've seen all of 1 week of, despite all the weeks that it's been going on, Nikita needs this to definitively progress up the ladder within the NXT women's division. And Cora Jade, I have just taken such a liking to her that when Natty came out and started beating the piss out of her, I'm like, no, Natty, that's a bad Natty. Natty should be teaming with Cora, not attacking Cora. That's a bad Natty.
I, I,
But Natty is at that place in her career as a 15-year veteran, much like Ziggler was working with Braun. She needs to come in. She needs. Why are we throwing up the Under Siege?
I don't
Why
know.
are
What the
you taking
hell? I don't know. What the hell's
away the
no, this thing's being stupid. I'm sorry. Hang on. God damn son
She
of a bitch.
needs to come in. She needs to work with the younger talent.
Hell?
She
There we go.
needs to put them over. If
Jesus.
anything, have Natty take the pinfall and Lash turn on Natty for costing her the match.
Right?
That way Lash helps that way Lash starts to get over even in her loss. But I hate that I feel this way about it right now because I'm always picking Natty to win. I'm always picking her to get the titles. I'm always picking her because she's one of the most underrated women wrestlers. Almost slipped and said divas because she's been around that damn long. That WWE has had under roster,
Yeah, it's
but
crazy.
she doesn't need it anymore.
No.
Cora and Nikita need this badly.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My okay, there. Let's say I was totally locked up there for a second. I couldn't move. There we go. Okay, very good. All right, we're back. All right. So next match. Where's the next match?
Do you have anything you want to say about that after me just smacking the crap out of you by saying how bad I want Natty to lose?
Yeah, I can't even process what the hell just happened. Like, I don't even know what to say. And again, you're right. And like, you're not even out of line and you're not right. It's just weird for me to hear you say that. But this one, I am curious about your opinion because these are three completely different personalities, and I'm just a fan of all three of these guys for completely different reasons. But there you go, man. North American Championship.
You know, let me put it to you like this: Carmelo is not going to get it back. That's bottom line right there. I was not. I didn't pick Cameron to take the title at Stand and Deliver, but I'm not upset that he got it. You know, the whole storyline was winning an NXT championship for his father. He's now accomplished that.
True.
If we're going to strengthen the bloodline, Solo Sikoa needs that belt.
Yes.
And then he can start doing run ins on SmackDown. And you've got Roman with both belts. You've got the Usos with their belts. And you've got Solo Sikoa with the NXT title. Head of the table, I bring this belt to your camp now.
Well, luckily,
May
well,
I
it's North
be.
American, but I want someone to be next at some point too, for sure. So,
Well,
because that
I want
needs to be
him
a
to.
thing. The bloodline needs to run the business. So,
I don't want him to be world champion because I want him to move to the main roster sooner rather than later. If we get The Rock at Mania, like everyone still is hoping and praying and thinking we
true
will,
that. Very true.
the bloodline will probably end at WrestleMania 39 with Roman's defeat. Whether Rock wins the belt, whether someone cashes in,
Really? Okay. Wow.
whatever happens at that show, that will be the end of the bloodline. It has gone on too long. So we need Solo over there sooner rather than later. And I think by him winning this
All right.
title, he can bring it over, like I said, present it to Roman. I bring this title to you. May I be part of the bloodline now? And then we can maybe try to merge that with the IC or US title.
There you go.
I'm sorry, little Soldier Mike. It's gonna end eventually, bro. And Roman has had the straps for way too long. I've said it since Mania this year. If we get Rock Roman, Rock is gonna topple him as the true head of the table. Someone's gonna cash in Money in the Bank briefcase, take the straps, and walk out of there. Hopefully, Cody Rhodes with the belts.
Right. There you go.
That's what I'm.
All right.
And in their defeat, the bloodline will crumble.
Wow. Bold statement. 10 months out. Or 11 months out. I'm here for it, brother. I'm here for it. We shall see how things play out between now and Inglewood next year, man. Crazy shit. main event time as far as spring breaking for you, because I mean, this has become very personal very, very quickly. You figure the Steiners got inducted in the Hall of Fame at WrestleMania weekend, and now this Joe Gacy creep has Rick Steiner, pretty much Rick Steiner's ring and everything, and then he's got Braun here pretty much by the Steiner. So we'll see how it plays
Which
out.
is all the
I'm
more
looking
reason.
forward to. I don't see Joe Gacy winning, but
No. I was just going to say, which is all the more reason why Braun is going to retain the title. Joe has been leading this angle down every twist and turn, the entire road, and Braun is going to vanquish him. On to the next one.
There you go. Short, sweet, and to the point. So I had a graphic already, and I'll go ahead and throw it up there briefly. I was going to have it be, next to us here, but it just I don't want to give the face that much time because I know it's not ultimately just his decision. It's just the best graphic I could find without making me want to violently vomit. So NXT releases. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
It is the elephant in the room. And I don't mean Bruce Pritchard.
Do you have the full list of people in front of you? Because I don't. The only ones that I remember off the top of my head that I knew when I saw the list were Dakota Kai and Malcolm Bivens. I know there's about 8 others.
Yeah, there are a few. Unfortunately, it is unfortunately Dexter Lumis got let go.
And who was
Dexter
he again?
got let go?
Remind me.
So yeah, Dexter Lumis. Let's see, Dexter Lumis, who has been part of this. He was honestly the last major component of the Way, other than Indy Hartwell, who was his on-screen wife. Because Johnny's gone and Candice is on leave, and I don't know if she's coming back. So that whole thing is kind of
like if everybody else in the stable has kind of fallen, what are we going to do?
Well, I mean, Indy's still there. Matter of fact, she was having a storyline with her and Dexter teaming up with her friend Persia, who also got released in this fallout, and her on-screen beau. So it's been bad. Dexter got released. Harlan got released. Harlan surprised me because we've been hearing for a year about this kid that looks like Brock Lesnar named Parker Boudreaux, and he's going to be this major superstar, but he got pigeonholed, and I mean flat out buried before he could even take to the air because of how much he looked like Brock Lesnar. People were just shitting all over it before they even saw what the gimmick it was going to get. And it was so bad. And then they give him this gimmick, and then they use him for what? 3-4 weeks tops? So stupid. You mentioned Malcolm. That one surprised me the most, other than Dakota. Malcolm Bivens is a talented dude. He knows what he's doing. Think about it this way. Less than a year ago, Diamond Mine, this is according to Sean Ross Sapp, by the way. I definitely want to talk about Sean because Sean was awesome. Roderick Strong, Tyler Rust, our buddy Ryan Taylor, who also got released last year during that bullshit. Arturo Ruas, I think he got let go. Hideki Suzuki, who also I believe got released recently. Marina Shafir, who's now with AEW, and Malcolm Bivens. So of that entire what was supposed to be, Roddy still has his WWE contract for now.
And he's been requesting his release for some time, according to your other boss.
Yes. Which, you know what? Again, Marina's in AEW, and she's having a great time. So why wouldn't Roderick want to be down there, closer to home, closer to the kiddo? Just saying. Dakota. God, Dakota Kai getting fired just pisses me the fuck off so much. It really does.
Dakota
oh my God.
and Malcolm were the two that surprised me the most because those are the ones that I see most regularly on the television. Dakota just came off the heels of the whole thing with Wendy Chu, and then the match with Raquel at Stand and
Reuniting.
Deliver.
They reunited.
Yeah. But Raquel moved up to the main brand.
Yep.
Where'd that leave Dakota? I'm seeing this thing going around, and I've read it on a couple different sites, No DQ, some of the other pages, that WWE is going to start doing this every 90 days. And while this may be a hot take with some people, but while that may sound kind of harsh to the talent, at the end of the day, it's a business.
Right.
You know, think about it as a 90-day probation period with your company. If
I was
they
gonna say.
sign you and they put you on TV and they don't see you progressing at the rate they feel like you should,
Yep.
why should they continue to invest in you when they
Right.
should could give somebody else that spot?
Yep.
You know,
Every other.
and again, it may sound cold-hearted, it may sound harsh, but at the end of the day, I would rather them cut 10 or 15 people from NXT that they can tell don't have the it factor, that aren't going to make it up to the main roster, than to do a mass firing of people that are on the main roster.
Yep.
You know, because then it becomes a Alexa Bliss situation, and we don't know what to do with you,
No, and it
which is
sucks.
horseshit. There's so much they could be doing with someone like Alexa.
Hmm.
You know, at the very least, why can't we get Alexa and Liv as a team? You know,
My whole
once Liv
thing
is
with.
done with her feud with Rhea,
Right.
put the two of them together, let them start a thing and go after, Sasha and Naomi.
That's if Liv survives the next purge. Because they keep dicking us around with her. I don't know. But yeah, those I mentioned. Then you got Raylene Devine, Persia Perota I mentioned earlier, Mila Milani, Draco Anthony, Santana George or Sanyana George, excuse me, and Paige Prinzivali. Every other form of employment, every other company or their corporate style setup, there's always a 90-day probationary period. The only place that does not exist is sports. You sign a
Mm-hmm.
contract, they honor the contract.
Mm-hmm.
I got
For
news
however
for you,
many years
folks.
you sign for.
Yep. Got news for you, kids. How long has Vince McMahon been calling his company entertainment and not sport? Just saying. It's
Yeah.
not cold J. It's not harsh J. It's not a hot take J. It's fucking reality. It's a business.
I mean,
So,
it's just one of those things, though. Everybody wants to immediately villainize McMahon.
right, which I detest.
And in some cases, 100% warranted. When it comes to this, not at all. And Little
No.
Soldier Mike said it. No offense, but I never heard of a few of the people who got let go. Out of the 10 people that got released, I only saw two on a regular basis and had heard of maybe one or two others.
Right.
So, how much of an effect did the release really have? You know,
Right.
they didn't let Shelton Benjamin go, Cedric Alexander. They didn't let, Alexa go or Liv.
Yeah.
They could have released those names and then people would have been pissed. And
Of
maybe
course.
I would have been a little bit more pissed because then it comes down to the whole creative, we have nothing for you. People to this day shit on Vince Russo, and in a lot of ways, rightfully so. But
Right.
when Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara were writing Raw and SmackDown in its early days, they had a storyline for every person on the roster. It
Yep.
didn't matter if you were Taka Michinoku or Triple H,
Yep.
or if you were in the middle of the pack there, like the Hardy Boys and Edge and Christian.
Exactly.
There was a storyline for every single wrestler.
And if
And
there wasn't,
sometimes Triple
yeah.
H would come into contact with Taka Michinoku. Sometimes, you know, The Rock and Sock would fight the Hardys. And those paths would merge. But every single talent on the roster had a story and an end goal. Maybe you were seeing them on Heat instead of Raw, or Velocity or Shotgun Saturday Night instead of SmackDown, but you were seeing them on TV every week.
So, Kedrick, I see your question, and I'm gonna interpret it the way I think you meant to be interpreted. And if I'm wrong, please let me know. The wrestling business, from a fan standpoint, is definitely down from where it was in the Attitude and early Ruthless Aggression eras of WWE. I will definitely concede that. However, business-wise, and I'm talking money in the pockets of the management of the company, it's never been better.
Yeah.
Which is scary. But again, they don't just present people in the ring play fighting. They've got merchandise. How often does this guy show merchandise on his damn channel when running on the regular, right?
I can point to 3 specific occasions, all around a similar time frame, that changed the business forever. Okay? Number 1 was the demise of WCW and ECW.
Yes, sir.
Losing the competition, which we've only recently started to get back. Number 2, WWE becoming a publicly traded company.
Yep.
And number 3, the boom of the internet.
Yep. And again, because
no competition, publicly traded, so they had to watch P's and Q's. And then the internet being a way as to, do I even want to tune in and watch Raw this week or SmackDown? Here's what happened at the tapings on Tuesday.
Yep. I have said for years, Jay, and you agree with me a couple times on the air and off air, the worst part about wrestling fans are the fact that they're wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Because there's so much toxicity out there.
I'm not even going to blame the fans in this instance.
Well,
those 3 things changed the business, period. Because now with DVR, with streaming, and stuff like Hulu, which is how I watch all of my wrestling product either DVR'd or off of Hulu. I don't watch a single thing live as it airs, except for the PLEs that I do watch alongs here on the Jeff Meacham Network with. That's it. That's all I watch live. Because I have a life. I have work. I have stuff that I have to do as far as my daughter goes.
Yes.
I can't watch wrestling every night when it airs.
No.
So that affects ratings, which means, Raw, SmackDown, AEW isn't pulling ratings that it would have pulled during the Monday Night War era.
Definitely.
When it was must-see television. When the Radicals showed up at ringside on Raw and people were picking up their telephone to call friends, dude, turn into Raw right now. They just got Eddie Guerrero, Perry Saturn, Dean Malenko, and Chris Benoit. And channels would change, and the rating for that quarter hour would jump. Exactly. That doesn't happen anymore.
I see the next question from Kedrick, and just give me a second because I'm trying to get the date on that before I start rattling off. Because I think my answer will be based on. Okay. So Kedrick says, "Why doesn't AEW? Why doesn't Forbidden Door feel as important as the G1 Supercard at Madison Square Garden?" Is basically what that says. I'm just going to try to streamline the question a little bit. Very simply, this.
I was going to say, let me try to answer the one thing that I can think of. Being someone who's just coming into AEW and hasn't watched any New Japan as of yet.
Okay.
And then we'll let the professor wax philosophically.
Okay.
For me, it doesn't feel as important because when I heard about the show, I looked at the New Japan roster and half of the roster is AEW talent as it is.
That's part of it.
So what's so special about it? If half of the roster is already under contract with the company that's doing the show.
Yes.
If it was WWE AEW Super Show, which we know at this point in time will never happen. If it was WWE versus Impact Super Show, WWE versus Ring of Honor, WWE versus New Japan, it would be a lot bigger. But at least half of the visible roster that I saw on New Japan's page is AEW talent.
Yep.
That's why it doesn't feel so big to me. And Noah would probably reach through the screen and slap me right now for that. But it is what it is. Granted, I know they've got names like Ospreay and Okada that aren't AEW talent, and I'm looking forward to seeing those guys in action.
Yep.
Personally, I want Punk Okada and Danielson Ospreay based off of what I know about those guys and their performances.
Right.
I've seen people say they want different variations of those matches, and that's all great, but that's what I would like to see. That's why I feel like it's not so big. Professor, take it away.
So three points I wanted to make. One, you hit my point spot on there as far as who the rosters are. Number two is simply timing. The show for New Japan and AEW is in the summer, and it doesn't feel like there's anything really, oh, okay, cool, these guys are going to work together. But as you said, there's the momentum doesn't feel as strong because of the rosters being very similar. The biggest thing, and while as the New Japan show at the Garden was WrestleMania weekend in the same area, because WrestleMania was over at MetLife Stadium the next day. So when you have a card with the two biggest companies on the planet not named WWE in the same region of the world that WrestleMania is taking place, and they're at WWE's home of Madison Square Garden, that's fucking huge. This, while in Chicago, which is a major WWE town, it's not the Rosemont Horizon or the Allstate Arena, whatever the hell they're calling that damn building this week. It's happening in a different venue, which is, again, the United Center. I love the United Center personally. Blackhawks play there. SummerSlam '94 opened that venue, so it has a lot of wrestling history, but it's not the Rosemont. That's the difference for me. Number three, and this is going to piss off you AEW diehards, and I'm sorry if it does. That show is a result of, and Tony Khan will make a major announcement, which OVER already. We're so over it. We done made fun of it by having his announcement about Renegade's reviews coming back with that graphic as the template, just to be a dick about it. For real. Tony, trust me, you guys working together is cool. That's wonderful. But if you're going to tout everything you say on television as a major announcement, guess what? If you say things enough times, it becomes not a major announcement. It becomes commonplace, a regular occurrence. And you saying things like that does not need to be considered regular, vanilla, of minute importance. That is why it doesn't feel as important. Ring of Honor New Japan plugged the shit out of this, but didn't go over the top with previous stuff with either company. And again, I'm not trying to shit on Tony, because I like Tony and I like what he's doing as far as the company he's helped put together with the roster he has. Lord knows I've got enough friends in that roster, or thank God I've got my buddies at work, right? But again, I can't say the major announcements by Tony because it just feels like he has to. Yeah, exactly. Okay, here we go with the comparisons, and people are going to be really mad at me. That's okay. I have one phrase when it comes to Tony Khan's major announcement every week. Another Tony during the Monday Night Wars. This is the greatest night in the history of our great sport. Except
Isn't
no, it's
that
not
Tony
Shivani.
doing commentary for the other Tony now?
Right. Yeah. Like Shivani. We just had the outsiders wrestle porn stars. It's not the greatest night in history of our great sport, okay? It's not, Tony. Stop. Just
I mean,
So
I get the desire to hype an announcement, but until Tony comes up with a streaming deal, a la WWE on Peacock,
yep.
until he comes up with a TV slot for ROH, so that ROH titles aren't being defended every week on AEW television, until he comes up with something along those lines, it's probably not going to be that huge of an announcement. Because that's what we were all expecting when they made the Forbidden Door announcement. A television slot for ROH, even if it's just an hour leading into Rampage. That way those shows can go back to being live again.
Yep.
You get an hour ROH live, an hour Rampage live, 2-hour show.
Perfect. Again, you know, I know Tony's a fan and Lord knows I am a fan and I became a booker for a while too. So I get it. Everything's the most important thing you ever do in your life. But at the same time, it's just one of those deals where too much is happening. That's the greatest thing in the history of the company because the company's still such a baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's still learning how to walk properly on its own. It's still a toddler, man. So it's one of those, Tony's expecting to go out there, and go run, marathons. Like, dude, we got to get you up at past crawling first, Tony. Relax. We got to get you potty trained, which clearly you're not yet. So, I feel that everything is not the greatest thing of all time, and we're being told that it is. Granted, signing Samoa Joe, bomb move. Signing Punk and Danielson, oh my God, bringing Punk back to wrestling was major, huge. But unless something really surprising happens at Double or Nothing, Punk's just another dude on the roster already. I'm sorry, but he is. Brian feels important. Brian, they've got behind. They put him with William Regal and Moxley. And now they get Yuta freaking just absorbing that rub. My God. Luckiest son bitch in the company right now. Holy shit. And I saw Yuta on the cruise and
Go ahead.
Yeah. They weren't using him near as much or as well when we were on that ship. And
I was just
my
going
God,
to say
Yuta's
the
just
entire purpose of Blackpool Combat Club is to get Wheeler Yuta over. Period.
Yep. And so far,
you notice every time they do those 6-mans, Yuta's the one getting the pin.
Yeah. Yep. Everybody in the chat room is right. The bottom line is this show does not seem like a forbidden door.
No.
It's not. You've got companies that aren't in WWE working together, which has become the norm now. And again, you hear that about 20 years ago with other companies working together, you'd be like, dude, you're full of shit. But it's common now. The thing with the phrase forbidden door, there is one person that has legitimately walked through that.
Mm-hmm.
James.
I was just going to say.
That's
Mickie James coming to the Rumble with the Knockouts Women's title, Hardcore Country playing, and the lower third acknowledging that she was the TNA Women's Champion was more of a forbidden door than this show.
Everything.
And again, Noah, James, if you guys are watching this, we're not trying to shit on New Japan or AEW.
No.
Facts is facts is facts.
Now, if they'd have had Moose, like we were hearing, or, if freaking, I'm trying to think, I don't think they had Adam Page walk out there, but you know what? Hey, Adam Page is world champion. Why not? Have that, or at the time it was, Omega.
Have the Usos come over to Dynamite to challenge FTR.
There you go.
That's a forbidden door.
Right. Seriously, it will never be anything more than a one and done. And granted, if I'm wrong, I hope I am wrong. But yeah, Mickie James coming over as the Impact Knockouts World Champion, as a producer of the NWA, and considering how dirty that company done did her, that door wasn't forbidden. That door was steel locked down and guarded by freaking Rottweilers. Okay? And she
And
still
she
went through it
shit
anyway.
kicked it down with her
Yeah.
boots
Yeah.
and had a better showing than people thought she would.
Yeah. I legit thought they were going to have her win it. That's how I realistically, no, of course not, Jeff. Don't be effing stupid. But Impact Knockouts World Champion wins the Royal Rumble. She's the main event of WrestleMania. There's a forbidden door and a half right there. Just saying.
Yeah.
So, this forbidden door thing has just been so blown up. And again, I don't blame necessarily Tony solely for that, because that's a lot of fan hype and bullshit. Let's not kid ourselves. So that's why it doesn't feel as meaningful, because it's not. It's not. So, anyway, we are way past where I wanted to go, but I'm here for it because we got to interact with the people, and I enjoyed the shit out of it. So that's good
Yeah,
stuff.
I was going to say, it doesn't look like people have left us to go watch Raw yet, so we definitely thank you for that.
Yes.
But let's go ahead and hit that shameless shill and promotion one last time so that we can sign off.
Well, I was just going to run the credits because the credits do it well for me, but I will give you specifically, because I know I want people to go out there and watch Renegade's reviews this Wednesday and Friday, because we are talking about the most electrifying birthday boy in all of entertainment. Damn it, it is The Rock's birthday, and we are covering Dwayne Johnson all month long on both channels you're watching this show on right now. This week, of course, Renegade's Reviews is doing The Rundown and Walking Tall, in addition to doing Scorpion King today. So that's over on JJ's side of things, exclusively at youtube.com/Casa D-18 Studios. Let's not forget that. So y'all want to see JJ every Monday, Wednesday, Friday before he comes on and plays shenanigans with me. You got to watch Renegade's Reviews and give the man some love, because he does a wonderful job with what he do. Then you've got us going live because we're just insane and need professional help, clearly. Got The Rock's Dwayne Johnson's, excuse me, all the hell, greatest movies 1 week from today at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. And again, we're going to go an hour and a half because we want to make sure what do you call it? Raw. We want to give you the option to go over to Raw if you want to and not be having us just ramble. Same thing on the 23rd of May when we do the Rock's top 10 matches. That's all just he and I. Right here on the DADS, Not Always in Wrestling, and Renegade's Reviews.
Yes.
Great
plus,
Cherry show.
Of course, I was going to say, plus, of course, Talk Wrestling tomorrow after spring break-in. Greg Cherry show on Wednesday. Open mic night on Friday.
Yep.
Under Siege on Saturday, which I will not be present for because I don't have a way to watch the Impact Plus events. Backlash on Sunday, which I will be present for. A hell of a week ahead.
So, by the way, I'm gonna call myself out on air. It was brought to my attention that Sunday's Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So, but Dylan can be with me because Dylan's mom got invited to go out with a friend of her, I think a friend of her mother's or something. Anyway, so they're all going to do the Mother's Day thing with them there. So Dylan may even be on the show this Sunday, which would be cool to have him along for the ride. So we'll see how it goes.
That would definitely be interesting.
Yeah, because Dylan doesn't watch near enough where he's going to like really be into it and sit here for the full 3 hours or whatever. But it'll be fun to have him at least in the next room, just chiming in when he can, because that's what Dylan do. He chime in now.
Yes.
Again, thank you all for sticking with us for the hour and a half. We appreciate it. Again, Talk Wrestling tomorrow. Greg Cherry, complete with egg on face, Wednesday. As the Force is with us all Wednesday. May the Force be with Greg wearing an egg on his face for an hour prior to Dynamite. Thursday, again, we're dark for now. Friday, of course, with Mike Knight, as JJ said, and then we got the pay-per-views. And that's not all, man. We are loaded. Thank you, Ron. Down with content this month, man. We've only got I think 3-4 weekdays off. I'm here for it. So
yes,
good stuff ahead, my friends. But for the Renegade JJ Williams. And at least this month, Renegade Wrestling. Let's not kid ourselves because it is about The Rock. So we'll go ahead and throw it out there. Renegade Wrestling. There it is. Boom. JJ Williams. I am fearless leader himself, West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham. We are the dads, not always on wrestling. And we will see y'all next time.